All right, everyone, welcome back. I'm so glad you decided to join us again for another deep dive. We've got a really interesting topic lined up today, and it's something I know a lot of you have been curious about.
Yeah, definitely some interesting stuff to dig into here.
So basically, we're trying to figure out why so many American women seem to have this, well, distrust of Donald Trump, especially when he talks about protecting women.
It's a bit of a head scratcher, right? Because on the one hand, he says all these things about wanting to defend women,
Right.
but then his actions sometimes seem to contradict that.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So to really understand this, we're going to look at a bunch of different things. We'll be checking out some past scandals, some controversial statements he's made.
Oh, there are a few of those.
Yeah. And even a court case that really sheds some light on this whole issue of trust, or lack of it, I should say.
Absolutely. I think what's really key here is that this isn't just about politics.
Oh, definitely not.
It really goes deeper than that. We're talking about character, integrity, there's core values that shape how people see you.
Exactly. And it's not just about what you say.
It's about what you do, right? Your actions.
Totally. And one of the things we'll be looking at is this idea of, well, how does Trump's behavior towards women line up with what he says about wanting to protect them?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is. So to get started, you sent me this really insightful segment from Coffee Talk with Gersson Torres. He's got some really smart things to say about all of this.
Yeah, he really breaks things down in a way that's easy to understand.
Oh, absolutely. So one of the things Torres focuses on is this statement Trump made about defending women, even if, get this, they don't want it.
Hmm. Now that's an interesting statement, isn't it?
It really is. What do you think about that? I mean,
Yeah.
can you really protect someone who doesn't want your protection?
Well, that's exactly the point Torres is making.
Okay.
He's saying that this kind of statement, it could actually be seen as a form of control,
I know what's best for you, even if you don't see it that way, kind of thing.
Exactly. It's like who gets to decide what's best for someone else, especially when it comes to something as personal as protection.
And Torres points out that this kind of thinking, this I know better than you attitude,
Right.
it's not just a one-time thing for Trump,
Hmm.
It kind of seems to be a recurring theme.
Like a pattern almost.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And one really clear example of that is, well, you remember that Access Hollywood tape, right?
Oh, how could anyone forget that
A
one?
one where he's bragging about, well, grabbing women without their consent.
Yeah, that tape really caused a firestorm, didn't it?
It did. And a lot of people, especially women, felt like it was a glimpse into Trump's true feelings about women.
And it wasn't just about what he said on the tape, was it?
No.
It was this sense of entitlement that came through, right?
Yeah.
Like he felt he could do whatever he wanted because of his fame and power.
Right. And for a lot of women, that was really disturbing. Like, here he is talking about protecting women.
But then you have this tape where he's basically admitting to assaulting them.
Totally. And that's what Torres is getting at. Actions speak louder than words. And in this case, those actions were pretty damning in the eyes of many.
Absolutely. It really undermined any sense of trust that might have been there.
Yeah. And it also raises this question of whether Trump actually respects women's boundaries.
A very important question, right?
And to make things even more complicated, we have the recent civil case involving writer E. Jean Carroll.
Oh, yeah, the one where a jury actually found Trump liable for sexual assault.
Exactly. Now, he denies the allegations,
Of course he does.
but still, a jury decided that he did it. And this verdict, well, it just adds another layer to this whole issue of how Trump treats women.
It's like another piece of the puzzle falling into place, isn't it?
It is. And it kind of reinforces this idea that maybe he doesn't see women as equals.
Maybe he sees them as, well, objects or people who need to be controlled.
Right. And that's a really scary thought for a lot of women.
Absolutely. It's about feeling safe, being respected, having control over your own body and your own life.
And it ties into all these bigger societal concerns about power dynamics and gender equality.
Oh, absolutely. It's about how women are treated in society as a whole.
Exactly. And so going back to Torres' main argument, he's saying that for a lot of women, trust isn't built on just words or promises or even claims of wanting to protect them.
It's about actions, consistency, showing respect for women's autonomy and dignity.
Like actually walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Exactly. It's about treating women as equals, not as people who need to be rescued on someone else's terms.
Right. And that's a really important message for all leaders to hear, no matter what side of the political spectrum they're on.
It makes you think, how can leaders actually earn the trust of women in a way that goes beyond just saying the right things?
It's a great question to ponder, and I think it's something we all need to consider, regardless of our gender or our political views.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. It's been a really thought-provoking conversation.
It really has. And thanks to you all for listening. We'll catch you next time on another deep dive.